is we'll see how the draft goes. We're getting into it right now, and I expect who do you think's going to happen? Revenant?
I mean, are we going to see a Revenant?
We might see a Revenant ban.
It's possible. Chance. Oh, hey, look.
Hey, Epic. That's a good hero.
So we're going to see Revenant ban up first. Team Spectre is most likely going to ban FaZe. We're just going to wait.
It's after Revenant. It's FaZe, Bellica, Decker,
Team FreeMartySnow.
And it's going to be FaZe. There you go.
Team FreeMartySnow. Are they going to pick up the Morgash?
They did last time.
They picked up the Decker.
Okay.
So they're taking Decker
like
at
this.
the start. Yeah.
I already like this change in draft. Again, Decker, her impact remains the same and actually gets better as the game goes on. And another weakness of the draft of Team FreeMartySnow is they had a lot invested into the early game and the mid game with the Gideon and the Chimera. Sorry, I had a little bit of a distraction there, Notch.
I'm sorry, I apologize.
This time around, they've already gave themselves a little bit more late game impact with the Decker. Their early game didn't go so well, and their draft really suffered for it. So I feel Team FreeMartySnow has begun to draft a little bit smarter than in game number 1.
Worlds. Morgash, Lieutenant Bellica being picked up for Team Spectre. Shane, offlane Morgash. We didn't see much of a presence of Morgash last game. They kind of shut her down. Or she picked up that early kill, but there was really nothing she could do. Crunch was on top of her. Crunch did a really good job dealing with that. Lieutenant Bellica, best mid laner in the game right now, especially in the competitive scene. We see Bellica picked up, prioritized very heavily in this. So are we going to see Twin Blast and then Jungle pickup? I'm hoping we actually see a Grux or Sevarog give themselves a bigger front line instead of going with Chimera again. Give themselves more of a presence, better engage, if you will, guys. While that pick comes up, happy Father's Day. If you're a father, thanks for hanging out with us. To the players who have kids, thank you for playing. I've got kids. They're in the other room. We are going to see a Rampage pickup. We're going to see Rampage double stun, Shane.
What is this? December? Did Monolith just come out? What year is it?
Came out. We're not going to see anybody stun for 2 seconds at the start, but Rampage and Twin Blast, really good pickup.
I love this already. Rampage, his kit speaks for itself. It's more of that stun, that combo, stasis bomb into Boulder, vice versa, and ability to dive towers, ability to secure kills, and it's just a threat throughout the course of the game. So. Oh, there's Team Spectre. I was just about to say a great tool here would be Feng Mao and Crunch. So instead of going with Quag, they're going with Feng. Picking up Crunch yet again, though. The support for Team Spectre to be determined. It possibly could be a Bellica support. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. I don't think Bellica support meshes as well. But yeah, Muriel would be. There's so much synergy with Muriel for Team Spectre here. The Feng and the Crunch. I would love to see a Muriel pick up by Spectre here. Team FreeMartySnow, they're going to get that nuisance of an offlaner of Greystone, a hero we haven't seen much of, but is still a really strong hero. Again, that offlane, the hero pool, viable hero pool in the competitive scene for the offlane is very deep, and we haven't seen Greystone in a long time, but I think Greystone's a great pick here. Greystone is just like, oh, Crunch, you're going to use your full combo on me? I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, Greystone is a damn good offlane pickup, gives them a really nasty engage as we transition into the late game if we see a tanky Greystone and not a damage crit stone. But with Rampage and Greystone engage, it can be pretty nasty. They're going to pick up a Howitzer, so they have got great wombo combo potential with this particular draft here. Really like this draft out of FreeMartySnow.
I agree. I think Muriel's the go-to here, man. I really would like to see Muriel in this Team Spectre composition. With that being said, Narbash wouldn't be bad either. Okay, it's a support Bellica. It's a support Bellica. It's gonna be a support Bellica. I guess that would make sense considering they didn't have a carry. But I
would have liked to see Muriel.
Maybe they're gonna have a no, because they wouldn't have had a carry. But yeah, Yin being played in here, Bellica being picked up as the support. Bellica's support is still really good. I just don't. They still have a lot of control with the Seismic Assault. They still have a lot of control. So Crunch in the jungle, Feng in the off lane, Morgash mid, and Bellica Yin in that safe lane. I gotta say, I like Team FreeMartySnow draft quite a bit more.
I like the Marty Snow draft more. I can see what Team Spectre is going with here. They want to pick a target, blow that target up. I mean, Fang Mao and Crunch on a target, that's a dead target. So they're just looking to get that blow up. But when it comes to late game, when it comes to mid-late game, Marty Snow, in my opinion, has the better draft.
I'm getting loaded up into the game right here, so we'll start this here momentarily. Wamo Cabo. That's what it's all about.
So Shane, I'm going to talk about it for a second because it's still, as much as I love you, still triggering me. I don't know if you guys watched the Wukong video. If you guys watched the Wukong video, Zekimus Prime, the voice of you, if you will, of Paragon, kept calling Fang Mao Feng Mao. And I've actually asked a couple people. He has two different pronunciations. It is Fang or it can be Feng.
I was told 100% it's strictly Feng Mao.
See, I got a different. I prefer Fang. So,
well, it doesn't matter what you prefer. What Epic wants the hero's names to be pronounced as the name that his name is meant to be.
Feng Mao for the win. But
I think it makes sense. I think it's a Chinese origin. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not too familiar, but I believe that maybe
like
where that
pronunciation
pronunciation
calls him Kwong.
Yeah, it's not Quang. It's
pronounced Kwong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just the origin of the name. I don't know. Maybe we can get an update on that. But
Epic.
I'm pretty sure. I actually like Feng Mao. I think it's a cool name. I like it better than Fang Mao. Huh? He's like a saber-toothed tiger. I like Feng a lot more. I'm just having fun with it.
You're just having fun with it, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be it for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching and hanging out. We'll see you next time on Paragon Competitive League. Just having fun. Kwong and Feng, we've got it. We have Epic Clint in chat. He just clarified it for us. It is Feng Mao. So that's how we'll be saying it from now on. Done.
I don't know. I like Fang better.
Let's talk about so Shane, you mentioned this a little bit earlier, and I want to talk about it for a second, if we can. The offlane pick. There are so many strong heroes right now in the competitive scene with the offlane. You've got Greystone, which I think, in my opinion, we have seen
not enough of.
I think he's the strongest offlane in Paragon when it comes to the competitive scene. Maybe not in solo queue, but it gives you an engage. Reforged will help your team. We've seen Reforged set up 4 or 5 kills because of that slow and the damage. But a good team who combos well off of this hero, best engage, really strong ultimate, tanky as to the end of the world. I mean, he can be tanky for days. But again, really good combo power with that ultimate. Who do you think is another really strong offlane? What do you think of the fact that they've got Feng Mao on the other team? Would you put him at the top of that list, or do you think there's someone that's a better draft pick?
One of the things, and why I consider myself to be an offlane main, is that the offlane is, I think, the flex pick of any draft. It depends around what the rest of your draft is. If you want to go with a 4-man Paragon and a 1-man split push sort of strategy, you can pick up a Greystone. When Wukong's playable, he'll be really, really good at that. Teams like Oxygen, who have very talented individual players like Ramrils, and also play the 4-man Paragon very well, heroes like Wukong and Greystone thrive in that sort of situation. Same with Feng. If you're looking for a little bit more of a tanky front line and initiation, that's where heroes, Feng can fill that role, but that's more so a sort of Kwong can be picked up there. So it really depends on the overall strategy and what your draft needs. And that's where the offlane sort of comes in. And that's why I like this Greystone pickup. It gives them, he's just a nuisance on the map and really can create space with split pushing lanes, is really good at tanking objectives, whether it's the Raptors or the Orb Prime later on into the game. Greystone is just a really well-rounded hero, but his biggest strength is just being able to create space on the map, constantly pushing in waves. And once he hits level 5, just being, you have to put so many resources to actually kill him that if he does go down, sure, but if you had to use 4 ultimates to kill him, then even though it's 5v4, the enemy team still might be able to pull out a team fight if they have all their ultimates online, especially if Crunch is able to get in there. And I'm sorry, if Howitzer is able to get in there with the Wamo combo into containment fence, hit 3-4 people, any sort of variation of that.
So based off these drafts, Shane's, I got to give this to Team FreeMartySnow. We're going to be jumping into this game, guys, in just a second. Told you. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to game number 2, Team FreeMartySnow versus Team Spectre. Based off the draft, like I said, I got to give it to Team FreeMartySnow this round, but we will see. Team Spectre last game dictated the flow of the match, and I think they can do so again. They have their ability to just isolate a target and delete said target off of the map is going to be very, very high. Shane?
Hello.
Introduce the teams. I'm going to let you pick. Who do you want to introduce?
Ramachang on Decker, Sugar on a Rampage, Shows on Greystone, XX the Patriot, XX aka Mel Gibson playing to Bless, and Mud X on the Howitzer.
Got a little skirmish here. Faded Ren has found Ramachang. It does look like First Blood is going to go to the side of Team Spectre, deleting that Decker.
This is why we don't introduce teams anymore. This is why we don't introduce teams anymore.
That's why we stopped doing it, because the moment we start doing it, or let's talk about Healer Token.
Healer Token, yeah.
Over on the side of Team Spectre, we've got Itchy Heartache on Moragesh, Colombian Gamer on Feng Mao. That one, Malik, is playing in Faded Ren back on the Crunch. Really good game. And Hill is going to be mid lane on Valaka.
I really like this Yin pick. Even though Yin was nerfed, I still think she's just her late game presence is insane. She essentially has around the same late game DPS output of that of a Sparrow, but she's much more mobile and has a little bit more utility involved. Sparrow is, I'm going to show up and kill you in the late game situation. Yin, she can deflect projectiles, which obviously with a Rampage and a Howitzer as well as a Decker, there's lots of projectiles for her to reflect, but also has that I almost said it, the quivering, the Gale. The Gale is what we're going to call it, to also
Gale.
use that as well. So
Quelling Gale, Shane. It's
quelling a Gale.
Come on,
you got me all messed up with this quivering nonsense. But yes, Yin was nerfed, but they didn't nerf her scaling, and they also didn't nerf her ultimate, her ability to have a lot of tools to deal with teams that have a heavy on projectiles, and that's exactly what Team FreeMartySnow has. 3 of their 5 heroes are really reliant on their projectiles.
So mid lane, we've got Moragesh versus Howitzer. I give this lane, because of the ability to bully, to Itchy Heartache. I want to know how what build order he's going to use. Is he going to focus on building his Hive first, which can give him that 8 to 12 seconds of additional dot damage? If that target is marked, it's 12 seconds, but it's additional damage. It can keep you bullied, keep the lane pushed back. She's not going to have the clear that Howitzer's going to have, but she has the poke and just a better way to deal with that mid lane. Sugar over here going after their rebuff. Colombian Gamer was there. Itchy Heartache looked like he was going to collapse. Is he still going to collapse? No, he's like, I see you, Howitzer, and he's going to say hello to Howitzer here. There's that landmine to knock her back, but Itchy Heartache should pick up this kill onto Mud pretty quickly here. Team Spectre being very aggressive this round, Shane. Already picking up kills, already in that jungle, invading pretty hard here.
I like this, though. I think they have a team composition to do that, especially when you have a Crunch and a Feng Mao. Sugra is not going to have an easy time with this sort of situation, but if they're able to combo their stuns well together, they might be able to Reaping Dash use to get that extra damage on the auto attack. Sugra is going to get cleaned up here. I actually thought they might have been able to get a turnaround kill in a Crunch, and they are able to. Mud rotates in, and it's a 1-for-1 exchange. Both junglers getting taken out. It's not very often you see an offlaner like Feng Mao rotate this early on. It was, I liked the follow-through with the invasion into the jungle, but I think they overstayed their welcome, and that is going to be Team FreeMartySnow just rotated a little bit better, and we're able to pick up 2 kills to 1.
Yeah, 4 minutes into the game, a lot of aggression, 3 kills over on the side of Team Spectre, 2 on the side of Team FreeMartySnow. We've got, again, another really early Radiant Mantle for Crunching. He did this last time, and you know, first we were like, okay, why are you getting rid of your keys so early? But it worked. He has a lot of damage coming out, comboing those abilities, plus that additional 12, plus 1.5 times per player level. So he just was able to clear camps really quickly and then become a presence in those engagements. Rotated to most of the fights, was really engaging well. So I like this pickup early on Faded. And continuing to be, I think is he warding here? No, he was looking for an engagement. He's just going to back off. Yeah. Again, Itchy Heartache just keeping this lane pushed out so she can be a presence and rotate as well on that Moragesh. Feng Mao getting aggressive over here, Shane. At level 3, can he 2v1? Does he have that potential of 2v1ing?
Only if he has a minion. Only if he has a minion advantage, and that's the only situation. Which is more than likely not going to happen against a Twin Blast, just because obviously he has the wave clear of grenade spam. The boulder, the stasis bomb, they're going to take a couple tower shots. The black buff is online. They're able to pick up the kill. As long as Suger is able to get away, which he should be able to, that's just a clean rotation. That's Decker. That's Decker Rampage. That's why you see those two heroes picked up in tandem together all the time. And they're able to kill a offlaner that otherwise can be very difficult to latch onto and is elusive. Other side of the field, though, they're going to be able to push down their opponent's offlane tower. So Team FreeMartySnow right now definitely are on the back foot. Their draft is a little bit different, but still, they're going tit for tat at this point.
Good stasis gem from Ramachang, able to. He's still going to fall here. I thought he was going to. Stasis bomb was going to be able to help him escape.
Yeah.
But he was going to fall to Morigesh. Faded Ren wants to get aggressive on the Twin Blast. Twin Blast has that protection of his tower there, so they're not going to pursue that any further. But Faded Ren, man, just aggressive in this jungle. Shane, 6 minutes into the game, he's been over here 3 times. He's looking for this green buff. Is he going to be able to pick it up?
He's not looking for the green buff. He's looking for a rampage. He's looking for that rampage. Again, Crunch in these small skirmish situations is unmatched. He does so much damage. He's so very tanky. And obviously, as he levels up, that becomes even more of a threat. He's still not yet level 5, a little bit too early. Really, no one quite level 5. Not even the mid laners are just now hitting it. Greystone has hit it recently as well. It's very important for Greystone to hit level 5 as quickly as he can. Before level 5, he's very easy to harass and get kills on. But now he's going to be able to just start becoming that threat, that space creator, and that nuisance that we know and love him for.
I like Team Spectre right now. They got the confidence winning game 1. They're being hyper aggressive in the enemy jungle. They're chasing down Yin here. She is going to be able to get away. But I like this confidence. I like them rotating. I like them being grouped up, saying, look, guys, we won the first game. We know how to beat you. That's apply pressure. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're applying a lot of pressure here.
Faded's going to have to retreat pretty soon here. Again, Greystone, I think, was a great pick at dealing with this Crunch. Crunch knows it. He was like, oh, if that was anyone else but Greystone, I almost guarantee you Faded would have started licking his chops. Like, this is going to be easy kill, but not going to be the case. Good recognition that he didn't want to stay. He should have backed up, with that being the Greystone. Both these teams are falling back to their respective lanes. Colombian Gamer has done a pretty decent job at protecting his tower, or rather, to the converse of that, they haven't pushed the tower down that very much. The Siege Minion is going to do what Siege Minions do, and is going to be able to clean up this tower, so it is going to fall around that 8-minute mark. And won't be surprised if we see a little bit of lane switching here. Again, the Dawn team always want to make sure that they put their safe lane, and their safe lane generally switches to be around those Raptors. But they still got 2 minutes. We'll see what they decide to do. I won't be surprised if we actually start seeing teams not rotating as early as we used to see them, and instead try to put pressure on their opposing offlaner. Greystone, though, I don't know if that's the sort of offlaner that you want to be pushing early on against a tier 2 tower, because again, A, is hard to kill, and B, that'll put you in a situation where you get picked up very easily if you don't have good map control. Right.
I like the matchup, though, of Feng Mao versus a Greystone. Feng Mao can he's got a little bit more mobility, definitely more damage here. Patriot is going to be in trouble. Look at the rotation coming out for Bellica there. If they can get that Seismic Assault, misses the Seismic Assault, so Patriot is just going to walk under that tower there. Seismic Assault into that Void Bomb, or sorry, not Void Bomb. What? It is Void Bomb.
It is Void Bomb. You got it. You nailed it.
Dude, Void Bomb and Mana Bomb, because I played World of Warcraft for so long. I want
to say yeah, I never thought about that.
That's why I do it. And I'm like, wait, which one is it? I always get it mixed up. I do it all the time. Void Bomb, Void Bomb, Void Bomb.
Could you imagine if Blizzard made a MOBA with like World of Warcraft heroes? That'd be so cool.
It would be pretty fun to watch.
It would be. It'd have to actually be a MOBA though, like an actual MOBA. Over here on the left side of the lane, Yin's trying to get some damage done. The Earth Shatter from Feng Mao is going to go down. Splitting the souls, continuing to pursue. Yin has that chase capabilities, but Ramachang is going to be able to get away. Shugra hits the boulder, but it's on the Feng, not the Yin. So he's going to slice that halberd one more time, pick up the gold buff. A 1-for-1 exchange, but essentially a mid laner for a carry. Maybe a slight advantage going over to Team Spectre, but they're looking for more. And Ramachang was able to get away the first time, but the second time, Crunch has him in his grasp, and he's going to be able to pick up that kill. Team Spectre re-engages, finds the Decker, and picks up another kill.
Shane, do you know what HOTS is? That's the question being asked right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not sure what HOTS is. So another kill picked up Ramachang. Again, very aggressive Team Spectre here. They are in the jungle. They are looking for those kills. You would think they'd have a bigger lead. It's 6-4 right now. 6 kills in favor of Team Spectre. Raptors are being picked up here. Both Colombian Gamer and Yin.
Fade is getting low. He's trying to find a kill on the mud, but Suker's going to go into the ultimate form. That instant boulder is going to isolate Faded, and that's a double kill going over to the Patriot there. So already Team Spectre, even though they lost that most recent engagement, I would say that they're putting themselves in a better position in their early game. The biggest criticism I had from game number 1 is their early game felt lacking. This time around, they definitely are putting up much more of a fight.
Yeah, they're definitely putting, like you said, putting up more of a fight. I still feel like Spectre, though, with his aggression, they're not getting. I like the aggressive play style, but they have to get more off of these pickups. They need to look for another tower. They need to look for. They did get Raptors, which is a huge objective. That's a lot of card power that went to Yin, but I'd like to see them push down a tower. Name of the game here, guys. Get these towers and get to the core. It's the way you win. You can have all of the early game kills you want, but if Team FreeMartySnow picks up more objectives, eventually they win.
Is that how? That's right. That's
how it works.
Thank you.
Just in case anybody who's curious, that's how it works.
Oh, I'm holding off on the shade throwing. I'm holding off on the shade throwing. I think I've met my quota for the day. Colombian Gamer going with a pretty standard build on Feng Mao, picking up the Adamant Edges. I expect to see some more Adamant Edges. Thunder Cleaver is a card that's decent on Feng. It all depends on the play style that he wants to go with. Does he want to go with a more fight-based build, or does he want to be able to increase his wave clear, which already is fairly decent? He actually is leveling up his hamstring first, not his Reaping Dash or his Conversion Shield. So that's an interesting decision. Generally, I mean, that extra bonus damage on Reaping Dash is you're able to chunk people down, but increasing the hamstring increases, obviously, your damage a little bit. It decreases its cooldown, but more so, I think, is it increases your wave clear. So with that being said, I think we're going to see a Thunder Cleaver on this Feng Mao, and I think we're going to see a lot of pushing waves coming out of Colombian Gamer.
The split push on Colombian Gamer is actually pretty strong, Shane, and it's... But is the team going to be able to handle a 4v5 situation? You can split push all day, but if your team's not able to actually deal with a 4v5 situation, that's going to put you at a disadvantage because they're going to be able to push, counter push you and push those towers pretty quickly. So 12 minutes into the game, Raptors have been picked up. We will see Raptors picked up, Raptors respawn right around the 14 and a half, 15-minute mark. Aggression here in the jungle, Faded Ren. Ultimate's been popped. Faded Ren trying to deal as much damage as he can, but
man,
he's going to fall here.
He's still alive. He's still hitting Mud. He finally
gets
taken out. So Mud does go down. Faded stayed alive for much longer. Was able to dish out an extra amount of damage that I thought he shouldn't have otherwise been able to. Now Patriot is in a little bit of trouble as Malik has isolated him, but that extra range on the whip is going to be down soon. The tier 1 tower in the mid lane is still alive as we now are at the Baker's Dozen. A 1-for-1 exchange. That exchange could have gone either way. If Curse unlines for Itchy Heartache, he might be able to get a kill on the Patriot. One more mark into Curse could have been enough, but they recognized that. The ward was able to spot out Itchy Heartache looking for a flank onto him, and not going to be the case. Greystone is by himself doing Greystone things. Otherwise, looking at the minion waves at this point in time, the right wave is set against Team Spectre currently. I won't be surprised if Faded heads that way to deal with that. And mid lane, just a lot of posturing. Teams more so. They're going to try to reset after that fight and get a little bit more pressure on the map.
So that cage ended up hitting 3 targets. If Mud was there to land that, make it rain, they could have dealt a ton of damage. But Shane, I did not expect Faded Ren to live as long as he did.
Yeah.
For sure, I called it. I was like, he's got to die here. No? Okay, not yet. All right, now he's going to die. But 1-for-1 exchange. Good ward placement to allow Itchy Heartache not to rotate and pick up Twin Blast. If they picked up Twin Blast, I think they could have picked up a tier 1, possibly tier 2 tower as well there. Lanes being set. That's one thing, guys. If you're watching and you're newer to the game, how do I give myself an advantage after I get a kill? Make sure you're setting your lanes. They picked up kills, but Team FreeMartySnow had lanes set in their favor, which required a couple guys to back off and counter push those lanes out, so they didn't lose a tier 2 tower due to minions pushing into their objectives.
So the kills are 7-7, but the big difference maker thus far is just that Team Spectre is getting much more out of the map right now. You just take a look at the numbers as a whole. The CS obviously is a significant lead for them, but just the card experience is the big metric you want to look at. Patriot is actually ahead of everyone on his opponent's team, but that doesn't make up for the fact that you have Mud, who's at 16 compared to Morgesh at 21. You have Greystone at 16, who against a Feng Mao was at 19. Otherwise, with the exception of the carry role, Team FreeMartySnow was behind and have essentially lost every single one of those lanes. And they got to make sure that that doesn't continue to build. Patriot can only carry so hard. Howitzer is sort of a semi-carry, really able to dish out a large amount of DPS. And a Howitzer that's behind really just turns essentially into a hero that can maybe occasionally knock people up and zone people out. You want to make sure that those heroes get a decent amount of farm and don't get too far behind.
Team FreeMartySnow's got to be in trouble. They put themselves in a weird position to be flanked on. Containment fence is going to go down, but there's not going to be much follow-up on that. Only one in there.
Onto the support Bellica, just taking up all the damage right now. You hear that Void Drone just doing all the zaps in the world. Mud gets taken out immediately. Ramachang's going to use the Stasis Bomb, I think at this point, to delay the inevitable. Curse actually used onto him. They're chasing the support. They're starting to split themselves apart. Yin has been taken out, so it's a 1 for 2. Carries are down on each side of the field. Faded has to crunch away. I'm not sure if Greystone's going to be able to continue to pursue. In fact, if he pursues too long, he might find himself getting taken out here. Has now found the Bellica, looking for the Bellica. Gets knocked up. Good knock up right there to make sure Greystone doesn't get a double kill. Other side of the field, Sugra has no ultimate, has no mana. One more auto attack, one more tick of 5. That's going to be Sugra taking down. That staggered death right as the rest of their team is going to be spawning. It's still going to be a 5v4 situation. The tier 1 tower went down, but Raptors just spawn. And if Team Spectre are quick, they might be able to rotate over there and pick up their Raptors by the time Sugra gets back on the map.
Everyone, imagine if you will, before that engagement happened, Team FreeMartySnow was actually chasing Colombian Gamer and Faded Ren through the jungle here. They put themselves in this weird pincer maneuver. There was 3 of Team Spectre in the mid lane. As they walked through the river camp, they got jumped in the as they first came out of that fog wall, and then Faded Ren and Colombian Gamer came in from behind. They put a lot of priority trying to pick up those targets. It didn't work off, and then they just set themselves up for failure by walking right into that mid lane and getting picked up early. We saw a lot of CC come out onto Bellica, Shane, and she just took all of that damage and was able to help. I'm assuming it was because of quenching scales and her lesser health, because she doesn't have much resistance on. They were able to pick up 3 kills. Like you said, Raptors are now up. Patriot is there. Are they going to make an engage on this?
They're dedicating themselves a lot to picking up these Raptors. Sugra using the ultimate, just make sure he's keeping himself topped up while Patriot is wearing them down. Colombian Gamer is on the other side of the map, so if they do want to stand or make a stand, they're going to be actually just a little bit too late. All of them get cleaned up right there. And as I said, they want to make sure they don't get themselves too far behind. Patriot is building a decent lead. But he's still behind Morgesh by 1 point. He's still ahead of Yen, though. Again, though, it's the rest of his team, though. 19, 19, 18, and 19. That's really the biggest discrepancy between these two teams right now. Mud gets taken out again. 1-4 on the Decker, and now Mud also 1-4. So these the support in the mid laner are pretty much all aboard the struggle bus, because if they don't start getting something going soon, Team Spectre might be able to just walk away with this one. Sugra jumping up and trying to find out Bellica. Faded Ren being forced to run away. Greystone is going to continue to push in this charge, though, but without any backup. Not sure if he's going to be able to get any kills. That Seismic Assault, a little bit of a sidestep right there. And he's going to be able to dodge that. Colombian Gamer now essentially 1v4 at this point. I mean, I like Feng Mao, but I'm not sure if he's able to pull off that 1v4. So spawn missed. The boulder did. Feng Mao being deceptively tanky at this point in time. He does have those adamant edges and the conversion shield to tank up a lot of damage. He's being forced to reaping dash away. There's going to be no means of catching up to him. And this team fight is just a very scrappy team fight on both sides of the field. Greystone is continuing to run around and just being a nuisance. It looks like these guys are finally starting to stabilize here. Mud is back on the field. He's being forced to deal with that tier 2 pressure on the right side of the map. And no one's going to fall there for what felt like an engagement that went on for upwards of 45 seconds.
I really like Faded Ren's playstyle. His uppercut is what I'm going to call it, because it knocks everybody up into the air and stuns them for a second. He's used that really effectively. We've seen him use that 3 times to save his team. That's the reason Bellica lived in the mid lane there, because he's using those abilities so well. He is caught out here. Are they going to continue to engage? They're not. They're just going to let him run away. I think he could, at that point, easily taken out Howitzer, so they made the right decision to just let him go. But Faded Ren playing a really good crunch game. Both games we've seen him on that hero.
Yeah, whenever we've seen Crunch, we've only seen him a handful of times, but every time we've seen Crunch in this environment, they actually put priority onto the empowered left Crunch, which is the uppercut. as opposed to the big wave clear ability. I might have that backwards, but we're called the uppercut just for the sake of clarity. We see them use that much more. Sure, it doesn't do as much damage, but more so it's able to crunch. Really doesn't have any CC outside of that ability. So using that as a mean of CC and allowing the rest of his auto attacks and his abilities to be the finishers. For any of you aspiring Crunch players, I think this is the play style. Now that, I mean, people are starting to figure out Crunch and figure out his role. He's sort of a niche hero, but every time we've seen him, he's been very successful. And I like this sort of priority on building survivability with secondary power and using that uppercut. It's a great play style, and you're really able to get a lot out of him. He has decent wave clear as well. That's another big benefit of that hero. If you do want to use the big swiping empowered Crunch, then you can just clear waves instantaneously. So don't undervalue Crunch, guys. I won't be surprised if we start to see more and more of him further on into the PCL and just further on in competitive Paragon as a whole. Sugar popping the ultimate. Has not used the boulder yet. Uses it. Not able to bend it around the corner. And they're going to back up
hit
and
the Void
disengage.
Drone, Shane.
Tactical Void Drone, boys.
Tactical Void Drone. If it would have landed, I think they would have picked up the kill on Bellica there. They're still being aggressive. I mean, Bellica's just like, come get me. Please, come out here.
Ramachung using the Stasis Gem right now. Faded's just going to be waiting that out. But if the rest of the team comes around the corner, they might be able to pick up that kill. You hear that Neuro Disruptor. The Curse is going to be able to pick up the kill on Sugra. I like that they realized that there was no ultimate on the side of Rampage. They could take an engagement. That's what they're doing. Patriot now getting knocked up. He's isolated. He's going to be falling underneath the deceptive safety of his tier 2 tower. 4 go down on the side of Team FreeMartySnow. They don't have any creep here. Not sure if they're going to be able to pick up a tier 2 tower, but I'm sensing an Orb Prime. Maybe not, because they are wounded. They're out of mana. Maybe instead set the waves back up and look for another objective. If they had waves pushed right there, or they were healthy, they could get a lot going here. The tier 2 tower actually looks like that's going to be the objective. They're playing very patiently. Look what Colombian Gamer's doing. He's zoning and just trying to maybe bait someone out. The minion wave is now showing up here. There is no siege minion. And actually they're electing to try to, have all people, focus down the Greystone. They have to be careful about this. Hauser's going to be back on the field. Decorous here as well. Faded's very low. Forced to use the Stasis Gem right away. A little bit of a panic Stasis Gem. They actually are able to pick up the kill on the Greystone. So this is just great game sense coming out of Team Spectre. They're really pushing their limits and getting so much out of their composition. Crunch is low on health, but more importantly, low on mana. Is not able to get his abilities off. Sugar back on the map. If he's able to land a boulder here, not sure if he missed it a little bit earlier, a couple seconds ago, but was able to hit a boulder. There's the Stasis Bomb from half court. Pick up a kill onto the Bellica. So yeah, Team Spectre, I think they pushed themselves a little bit too hard there. Maybe if they backed up and were able to get themselves topped off a little bit, they could have found an objective. But instead, after coming out of a successful team fight, they're going to give up a kill on their Greystone. I believe that's Greystone's first death of the game. It is. I'm sorry, not a kill. They're able to get a kill on the Greystone, but they give up a kill onto the Bellica.
Yeah, I mean, Greystone, they at first, why are we killing this target? They really just dealt with that target pretty effectively. Bellica, or Decker came in and was kind of like, hey, look, I have a Stasis Gem, and popped it in the middle of that fight. She fortunately survived that engagement, because it could have been a whole lot worse with Ramachung running in like that. Are they going to be able to pick up these Raptors? It does not look like it. Do they have vision there? They do have vision, so they can see, hey, we should just back off. There's only 2 of us here. Rotation comes, and we're going to die. Not worth dying for those Raptors at this point. Itchy Heartache alone in the mid lane here. Stasis Bomb is going to miss. Itchy Heartache trying to get away. Dream Ender does land. Knocks her down to about 50% health. But Seismic Assault peeling for her, and she's able to get away.
The Dream
R2000,
Ender.
the Dream Ender, the R2000. It is the Ender of Dreams.
You said that, and I literally went to the ability list and started looking for an ability called Dream Ender. I was like, what are you talking about, Dream Ender? I was like, is that a Morgesh ability or something? Patriot was found and killed. That's a very high priority kill here. And Team Spectre, just with that 1 kill over under the Twin Blast, there's a lot they can do here. I think it's maybe a little bit too early for Orb Prime. Maybe if Malik had a decent amount of crit and lifesteal on board. Instead, I think Raptors are the safer call, the more conservative call. They have an economical lead. Continue to build that economical lead. Map pressure pretty even at this point, but still able to clean up those Raptors in no time.
I mean, Windburn, it 100% cleave rate. You just saw how fast they die there. So all 3 of those Raptors are going to head over to Yin. She's going to rotate in the lane. She's going to easily deal with this lane here, get herself more card power, and back off Cell. What is she at right now? 28 of 38 card power. She is playing the classic support Yin, where she's there dealing all the damage. And Morigesh and Crunch are taking all of those kills. Kills secured for the rest of her team. We see this. This is how I play Yin. I just go in, I do all sorts of stuff, and then let everyone else take the kills.
Yeah.
But she's at 39 card power. Patriot
do you let them take the
34.
kills, or do they take the kills from you?
They just take the kills from me. I tell myself.
Faded has the purple buff. I don't think if they're aware of it. Containment fence into the Make It Rain. This could be a moment for Team Marty Snow to turn it around, but Team Spectre is able to disengage, and they are get blown up by the Wombo combo. Mud gets taken out by the Earth Shatter. Splits the souls, knocked up in the air as Ramachung. He's going to get killed too, just like that. That looked good for Team Marty Snow. That's the first time they were able to actually line up the containment fence into the Make It Rain. But the economical lead, the overall power that they have been able to build up to this point, rip the jump pads. Mid inhibitor might be falling here as well, as Greystone and Rampage, not the best heroes to be defending the push. Instead, they're going to elect to fall back, pick up the Orb Prime. I think this is equally as good of a call here. They're going to get a lot of card points out of it. They can back sell, and they're going to have 2 minutes to work with their Prime cards online.
Yeah, Sugar doesn't have an ultimate, so he's... I mean, I wouldn't recommend going in here. Maybe he tries to land a boulder, but good zoning coming out of Hill and Itchy. They are just chasing him away. They are going to be able to pick up this Orb Prime. Basically uncontended. Greystone is here saying, hey, look, I'm tanky. Try and deal with me. Bellica's got to be careful. You don't want her to fall here. Orb Prime now activated. Now the team's going to collapse. I think this Greystone is going to be dead here.
Yeah. For real, dead. He's going to be dead. He's going to be steak.
Carne asada steak.
Yep.
Hot dog water.
Now they have those Prime card online. They do have quite a bit of points to spin. Actually, Yin is at 28 of 43 card points. I would love to see her back and maybe spin some of those. Okay, they're going to back and spin some of those. I'm like, you guys are at an advantage, but you could be in a much better position. You got plenty of time with that Prime card. Greystone's going to be back online, sure, but his ultimate's not going to be back online. That's going to be a little bit staggered after he gets back onto the map. But more importantly, make sure you get as much damage as you can. That is the Blink Shot now online for Yin, but more importantly, picked up the crit bonus and starting to build into that lifesteal. Malik is going to be able to just chew through people.
Do you want to see them split push here? With the advantage they have, they can really put pressure all across this map. They can take, I think, for the most part, any one of these engagements here if they decide to. I'd actually like to see them split push. Apply pressure everywhere. Make sure lanes are pushing in their favor. And then pick a lane if they have to. Most likely mid. We see a lot of teams prioritize mid lane here. But again, I'd really like to see a split push with this Orb Prime activated. And then, if they need to, again, collapse and take a tower.
Morgesh by herself on the left side of the lane, chasing down Patriot. Hey, look at the damage coming out. The ultimate. Oh, onto the pier, but the Hive. The Hive is going to be enough. Look at Itchy Heart casually 1v2ing at this point. Stasis Bomb is used, but if Itchy Heart is able to refresh the Hive or use a mark, might be enough damage. Hive gets thrown out. Not going to land, though, but here comes Faded Ren. Ramachang just can't seem to get any means of safety. He thought he was going to be okay, but then the rotation from Team Spectre is there. 3 down. Again, it's only the Greystone and the Rampage at this point. After they don't have any creep again, but creep pushing down mid lane as well as right lane is under some pressure as well. 20 seconds without the carry and the support on the side of Team FreeMartySnow. This is enough time to work with to where they can deal a crippling blow here. But they got to make sure that they don't take too much time. This tier 2 tower, the last tier 2 tower on the map for them is going to fall. Greystone is going to be absolutely blown up on the map. Like I said, he wasn't going to have his ultimate online. I wouldn't be surprised if his ultimate was just about to come up. This right inhibitor about to be under siege. And as long as Team Spectre is able to play this right, they should be able to pick this up with not much difficulty.
Yeah, so I just want to point this out, and it's not... We've seen Ramachang use that stasis gem early 2 times in a row now. Yeah. I don't know if it's just a panic or a misclick.
Containment fence used, but they're too much damage. The moment Faded latches on to someone, they just seem to get taken out immediately, especially with Colombian Gamer on the Feng Mao. Always being there with extra damage, the ultimate as well. And now you know you're in a bad spot when you're getting dived underneath your core. The creeper there, they should be able to pick this up 2-0 in the favor of Team Spectre. Team FreeMartySnow, they put on a decent performance in game number 2, but it was not enough. Team Spectre is going to move on.
I like Team Marty Snow's draft, but one thing I said at the start was Faded Ren and Colombian Gamer. They're going to be able to lock onto a target and blow them up, and that's exactly what they did, and they did that very effectively. So congratulations to Team Spectre. Moving on to round number 2. We may see them again today. Stay tuned. You never know. Guys, what we're going to do is go to a quick break, set up another match. We are going to be casting Finesse versus
Ooh.
Hydra.
Oh,
Congratulations.
get hyped.
It's going to be a good one. Congratulations to Team Spectre moving on to the next round. Team FreeMartySnow, thank you guys for signing up. You guys did very well. Hopefully we see you in the next PCL. Guys, we'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. See you in a bit.